NewsNation has been digging into the origins of the devastating Palisades Fire that scorched more than 23,000 acres in California back in January. A closer look at state documents obtained through a public records request, raising more questions about the state's role in responding to the blaze. The state's wildfire mitigation plan outlining an approach to land management that may have inadvertently led to that third most destructive wildfire in California state history. NewsNation's Rich McHugh has an exclusive look at what those documents are telling us about the origins of that fire. Rich, good afternoon.
Hi, Nick. So they say let it burn. Now, while California has continually said they denied responsibility for any part of the Palisades Fire, those orders to let it burn inside a California state park's wildfire mitigation plan raise serious new questions about the origin of the fire and California's involvement in it. Now, I want to reset for our viewers. After an alleged arsonist started the initial fire known as the Lockman Fire, firefighters fought the fire, declared it contained, and pulled up their hoses. But 6 days later, the fire rekindled into the Palisades Fire, killing 12 and taking 7,000 structures. The key question, why wasn't it fully extinguished in the first place? After the initial fire, hikers walking around the state park where the fire burned shot video of embers smoldering. On the day after the fire, and then again 2 days after the fire, a different hiker shot this video. We know California State Park reps were on scene directing firefighters with maps. Again, why? Well, according to a California State Parks management plan from Topanga State Park, obtained through public records request, it states, quote, to restore the natural fire frequency in chaparral habitats, unless specified otherwise, State Parks prefers to let Topanga State Park burn in a wildfire event.
We saw the state's philosophy in black and white. In the event of a wildfire, let it burn. That came as a shock to us. The thought of letting something burn, especially a wildfire, to us just seems upside down. The priority ought to be extinguish the wildfire and any remnants of it, and then you can go in and look to see what impact it's had on the plant life in the state park.
The plan specifically calls out avoidance areas with native plant species and avoidance maps of the park, which restrict firefighters battling a blaze.
We had received reports from the firefighters that were there fighting the Lockman Fire on January 1 that a state park representative came up to them during their firefight and showed them a map and said, you cannot go into these areas because there's protected plant species and you can't use heavy equipment like bulldozers in these areas. In that wildfire mitigation plan, we see that there are areas referred to as avoidance areas where state parks says heavy equipment should not be used. Mopping up activities cannot occur in these areas unless you have, for example, an archaeologist on site, which is consistent with what the firefighters told us about January 1.
We asked California State Parks if state parks representatives restricted firefighters from certain areas and using a bulldozer to cut a line around the fire. They write in response, state parks never hinders an active firefighting response, and firefighting decisions are up to the responding agency. Now, Governor Newsom's office has repeatedly said they were not responsible for responding to or monitoring this fire, but attorneys for the victims here say not true. And the proof is in this document and in the footage of the state parks reps on scene there responding and monitoring this fire. Nick?
Rich, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.